Kembo Kembo na nZambi Yamazulu. Bayete and Kosi, I'm coming with another revelation for you. It's going to be part of something I've talked about in the past, but as well as something that will help our people, both in the diaspora and in the land. And I hope that the revelation I give will continue to help our people grow in wisdom and in truth as we continue to do the work of the nZambi. And I'm going to share with you, a major secret about what people don't want to know and why they ignore it, why they don't even know, why this message will not always reach everyone but those who are to know. And of course, it's going to bring those who shake their head in doubt, saying there's no way. We're going to continue to push on and do what we need to do. Hallelujah. After the song again, I'm going to play the song from yesterday because this is a great song to continue to open with. Isso Cristo evoluzi. Sua Congo evoluzi. Indo Congo evoluzi. Sua Congo evoluzi. Isso Cristo. All praises, Kembo, Kimla, nZambi, Mazulu. Yenge, family, Yenge, Keno. Away in the Siena, Kembo, the Keno. Lu, Vuva, Mu, Yala. That was the greeting to the tribe of Judah, Yahweh, Judah. And the number 4. And the rain, pray the rain, this rain come down. First of all, I want to give all praises to Tata nZambi and Pungu Tulendo, Kongo, Yave, the creator of heaven and earth, of all the luminaries in the sky, all of the fishes and birds, animals in the sea. We give honor to Tata nZambi and Pungu for this time. We give honor to Yesaya Kuswa Kongo Yesu Christu, the real Jesus Christ. We give honor to the Monavelala, the Moya Peve, the Set Apart Spirit. They give honor Yenge to the Pemba Kalunga, to all who was the ancestors in the Pemba Kalunga, the righteous ways, the righteous ancestors, the righteous descendants of the Bana Betu, of nZolele, the Bana Kongo, and nZambi. I give righteous honor to all the way down to Adama Yakongo, Yave, Tata nZambi. Yave Kongo, Tata nZambi, and Pungu Tuleno, we come humbly before you, Father. Once again, for another message that you have been given, and the revelation to watching the video of Shaka Zulu, Tata nZambi, and what really happened, and now what continues to happen in the land that people don't even know. Tata nZambi, Pungu Father, we come humbly before you to do the righteous ways, not the wicked, to relearn the way of Tata nZambi, Pungu, Yahweh, and to unlearn the ways of those who sacrificed themselves unto the one who always was against us having the land that you promised us. Bayeten Kosi, Kimbo Hallelujah, Ingita. I'm gonna give greetings to all of you that are doing the Most High's work, and in righteousness and spirit and in truth. We give you greetings, and all of the things that we continue in this time. This is going to be a very, very powerful message, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I'm going to start, of course, with what the thief stole from us, and this is exactly who it was that stole it. And if it's the said person, you're going to know who I'm talking about. Leviticus, let me get my Kikongo Bible up. should be the 5th book. Let's go. Kanda. And what was funny was I heard in the video watching the second Shaka Zulu movie with the Citadel, and he said, Kanda! And I was like, oh man, this is how they lie. He yelled out, Kanda, which is what this means, Kanda and nZambi. And Makanda is family. So you know they didn't do the whole thing. Makanda, family, talking to the whole group of the Zulus. And I was like, oh, I hate Hollywood. Because I know they didn't tell the real truth. But there's something that he said that actually resonates with what we've been trying to tell people. That Yave Kongo Yesaya never actually died upon the stake. He was like Felipe said, he was already gone when he was still talking. So this has been the delusion. And he even said, how can a dead God speak to me? Shaka. And that's the whole point. Nimrod can't speak to anybody because he is bound by Tata nZambi and Pungu because that's who it is. But see, you're going to find out that this is what has happened in the land of the Zulus, in the land of the Xhosa, the Shona, the Malawi, the Gabon, all these places, Tanzania, Azania, Katopia, the whole thing that happens. I'm going to share with you what the world does not want the people to know. And I think Leviticus is the 5th book of the Bible, correct? The order, they have the order wrong, but I believe Leviticus is the number 5. Still no sound. Sorry, I was responding. Okay. Let's see here. Just making sure. Because, see, I have a book scripture that put them in the proper order. No, it's the 3rd book. Sorry. I'll probably saying, it's the 3rd book. We done screaming, right? I said, oh, you ain't paying attention. You see the 3rd book on there? Is it back home in the island there? Wantatu Wamosi is Leviticus in Kikongo. Wantatu Wamosi. And I'm going to get into why all of this here, it may not all be right, but it's been why it was changed to what you know now. And we're going to get into it, why it's so hard to wake people up, because they're not going to see this. And their world's been deceived. Let's see, I'm on Leviticus 18, so I'm going to go to Wantatu Wamosi. It's on page 108. See if this is right. Wantatu Wamosi. Okay. Make sure I got it correct. Leviticus 18:21. And see, this is what they don't even know. When we talk about the people who are in the Hebrew Israelites, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all these different things, that if you follow the Bible and it's correct in the way that they're telling you, you don't understand that you're worshiping the same deity I'm going to be talking about. That's why we're catching the thief, and the thief is the one that Tata nZambi told us not to sacrifice our children to, and the people that follow. So we go to Leviticus. It says, Leviticus 18:21. Do not give any of your children over to the sacrifice of Molok, Molek, For you must not profane the name of Tata nZambi, the Mfumu. Okay. Now this deity is the same deity as what I'm going to talk about this, the cult of Baal. Okay. So Leviticus 18:21, what is it? What did I say? Tatu wa Mosi says, Kuvanani widi muntu nkutu mu unku aku bonso nkailu adiasalu kwa moloki ko kusumunani nkumbu. Okay. And of course, nZambi aku komono mfumu. Okay, so the biggest kept secret that the world does not understand is that you're living in the world, in the Untoto, the earth today, that has been modified to look the way it does, to resemble the same spirit that was against Noka, that was against Noah, that was against Methuselah, that was against Hanok, Enoch. Okay, this spirit, the cult, and this spirit was connected to the Anunnaki and the fallen angels and all that. Baal. Okay. So now, as you see, the worship started with Canaan. Okay. And then spread all through all the nations, even the Banamuntu, the nZambi, and has now brought you all the way down to the USA and the New World Order. Okay. So the strong delusion that Tata nZambi has put upon the world and his people in this captivity and scattering among the nations is you were sent out among the heathen who worship this deity in different forms. Okay. So what happened in Embo, in Katopia, 600, 500 some years ago, with the Kingdom of Congo, is the Vatican or the Catholic Church brought the Kingdom of Congo this deity in the form of Jesus Christos. But at the same time was in Africa masquerading with all the other tribes that were also doing sorcery. Okay, and this is what the Most High said, we never stop worshiping this deity. The golden calf, we did it again. The golden calf, from what happened when we left Ngipiti Kamata, returned several times, and it even was why Kuso Kongo said, "This is not my world. Whose world is it?" Okay, and this is what they're hiding. And this is why the awakening is such a shattering thing, because we're catching the thief with what they stole, because this deity took Tata nZambi's scrolls through his people, modified them, and taught them back to us. This is what happened when they showed up in Congo. This is what they showed up in West Africa. This is what they showed up in Congo, the Ntotela, Tanzania, all the middle region, and even down to South Africa when they presented him to Shaka. That's why he can't speak to you, because he's dead. Okay, that's why I found out. A dead God, the Most High said, a dead God can't really speak to you, but can make you think he does through sorcery, because that's exactly what Simon the sorcerer dead. That's why he can't raise the dead. But now they're going to do they're masquerading with that now. Okay. Let's go to the scripture. Deuteronomy 28. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of, now this word Lord, thy God, that they put in the Bible is the same deity. I'm telling you, this is Baal. This is why they gave us a modified scripture by taking out Tata nZambi's name, Yave Kongo, and putting his name in there. This is the trick. To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command this day, because now this deity is the masquerader. This is how Shetani is masquerading as the angel of light. This is how Shetani is like the Most High. Okay, that's why it said in the Apocalypse of Eliah, if you read it, he says the false Messiah, who is really Baal, can do everything that the real Messiah could do, except what? Raise the dead. Because he said he has no souls to give. This is why you have mimics running around here under a different frequency, masquerading as life, versus those who are not from the dead God, who have been made themselves to believe that they are. But to try to convince these people that you worshiping this dead God, you're not going to do it, because they're his. And he's got them deceived, and that's the way it works. And it happened before in the days of Noka. Hey, you worshiping? No. No, we know God, we know this, okay? I even had even now in the land who people say, yeah, we knew him before, but you're still doing it in the Baal way. By saying that he only had one son. No. This is how they rigged it. So if what has happened to every time the Bana Betu, the nZambi have gone into a captivity is because of Baal worship. And that's why he said the last time, you're going to do this again in the form of these people who come from Diego Cow and them, because the secret societies, this is their God. But that's why they shushing all the time. Can't tell nobody. Secrets. That's what the obelisk in Washington, D.C. stands for. The Eiffel Tower, the one in Brazil, the ones they have in Asia, the one they have in Africa, the one in Egypt. Okay? Kamata. So if you going to accept these so-called Kemetic gods mixing in with Bantu culture, you are still with Baal. That's why the nZambi said, don't come out of the land of captivity just like before, and fall for these golden calves out here. There's people doing it already. Okay? Because like I said, even among the people who were taught real truth, this joker has shown up in secret again. And it's going to happen. The man of sin that they're talking about is the spirit of Baal among the children of Esau, mixed in now. Canaan, all of them together. All these nations who fought one another are now under one particular spiritual being that is coming to do a strong delusion upon the people and upon the world. It has already been deceiving. The image of the beast is the image of Baal, the three frogs, that comes from Edom, mixed in with Ashkenaz and these different things. Okay? And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Tata nZambi, the Mfumu, to observe and do all his commandments, I command me this day that the Mfumu, Tata nZambi, Sonini Nanini, thy Mfumu will set thee above all nations of the earth. And when we were doing it, yes. And this is how the nations knew that to get us away from the Creator was to get us to do what? To stop observing the commands. Because see, the ecclesia of Laodicea was not obeying the commandments, but modifying them and the images and all the things that they gave you. And then turned around and said, we represent the Creator. No way. Not with false idols, changing the cross and everything. No. Changing the names of the prophets, changing the names of all the things in the Bible. No way. This is the delusion. Okay. Of all of these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Tata nZambi the Mfumu. So, what happened to Africa? Specifically, one group of people, because the other people were already worshiping false deities. They lied about the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambi, the Bana Betu, including the Zulus, because see now, people don't even know this, and I'm not, trying to create any animosity or anybody else, but this deity has now continued to deceive us even in the land after the Most High turned his back on us. Because remember what happened to nZolele. Okay, nZolele. He said, when the Most High left him, who was he talking to now? This is why he went after Davidi. Our people, our kings, even King Solomon. When you're not talking to the voice of Tata nZambi and Pungu, who is your God? Baal. Like Aaliyah had to say, hey, now after what happened with Solomon, you had Jezebel and King Ahab. Who was their God? That's why they wanted to kill all the prophets that were worshiping Tata nZambi and Pungu, and Aaliyah had to come in and expose them. This happened in Embo in Africa again 500 years ago. Because see, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism was Baal in secret. But they didn't know that. So they showed up to destroy once again the moon too. The Bana nZambi, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZolele. And we got caught up in their lie with the white Jesus when we knew he was a Muntu, and off we went onto the ships. Okay. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed Bilaka shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of the kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Bilaka shall be the basket in thy store. Bilaka shalt thou be, thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Bilaka, okay, Tata nZambi shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee 7 ways. Now I'm going to explain to you, this is what happened after King Nzinga, because what King Nzinga did, and Tino Nzinga did, is when he went to Portugal and signed over the Kingdom of Congo, he gave us right back over to Baal. And this is what Tata nZambi says. Say what? What are you doing? This is what the Most High said. Say what? Okay, in Hosea chapter 2. The lovers are the lovers of, that's why he said, I will remove the Baals from your mouth. because all the nations are worshiping this deity by different names. This is why you must be careful, because he has the agents of our own people working for him, even in this awakening, and deceiving, if possible, the elect. These are the false. This is how you get the false messiahs everywhere, is through this entity. And the heathens already worshiping him because it's his birthday on the 25th of December. And the rise of Ishtar. We never changed it. The Mosai never changed it from the Ipaseka, and it's the wrong time. It's on the southern hemisphere. So when it says in Daniel, when he says, and he shall change, that's why they don't specify who is he. That's changing times and laws. You go to the pastor, ask him, who is this that's changing the times and laws? What is the name? Oh, it's just say, it's the Baal spirit who is giving us times and laws and changes in seasons, who's telling us deceptions. That the Sundia is the Hambwadi same day, like I talked about, because there was no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 35, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Sabbath. This is what he did. And he was out of the grave on the Hambwadi, like they said in the movie. Okay. So now, that nZambi shall command the blessing, the Bilak upon these in the storehouse and all the sitteth thine hand unto, and he shall bless the land in which the nZambi will give it thee. The nZambi shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the nZambi and walk in his ways. All the people of the Ntoto, the earth, shall see that thou art called by my name, the Infumo. This is why they hate Congo. This is why they hate the Congo people. And all of us who are scattered, who are Bana Congo, Bana nZambi, they hate the Bana nZambi because they know who we are. But they tell the other people, shh, don't tell nobody, we know, okay? And they shall be afraid of thee. This is why they're afraid of the black man, really. The specific black man, the Bantu people, because you know there's different kinds of black people. We're not all the same ancestry. No, we have similarities, but everybody says, oh yeah, we do all go back to Shem. Yeah, we all go back to Noka. But the ones who are called by his name are the only ones that would be feared. Ain't nobody, I'm so sorry, but last I checked, how many people are going against the imposters and calling them all kind of things? Nobody's so-called afraid of the Jewish people, right? So they claim, other than what they have to do in secret. Nobody, who's afraid of Isis, Ra, and El? But they bless him. No. The Malekis of the fallen angels, who are they afraid of? Who was the people that served them afraid of? They put him in the movie. King Kong. Hit in the chest. That's who they're afraid of. Okay. The gorilla silverback. The giant beast that we got to chain him. That the nZambi shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep command. And all the people, and then it says, and that the nZambi shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the cattle, and the fruit of thy ground, in the land that the nZambi swear unto the fathers to give thee. The nZambi shall open up unto thee his good treasures, the heaven to give the rain unto the land in thy season, and be lacquer to all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. This is why we got upset when we were giving him out our stuff, but not giving him any gratitude all of a sudden, but to our lovers. Now, verse 13. This is why the lucky 13 with the people that they do the hand signs and the signaling and all that. And Tata nZambi shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If thou hearken to the commands of Tata nZambi thy mfumu, that I command thee this day to observe and to do them. So, here's the thing. Go down to verse 15. But it shall come to pass. And this is why they tricked everybody with, oh, but you're teaching from the Old Testament. We're in the new covenant. But the new covenant never abolished the law. This is the lie that they taught us. He never abolished it. He just became the way when you follow it, using pity and not condemnation, and a circumcised heart and love for your brothers and sisters. This is why they made the Bantu people hate each other. They tricked us into fighting each other and killing each other, because they knew that verse 15 was what was about us. It had nothing to do with the Gentiles or the heathen nations or nobody or the imposters. But it shall come to pass. This is for the people who have the Tula on their heart. It shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Tata nZambi thy mfumu, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, that I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And this is what they're dwelling on with the Hebrew Israelites, but they fail to understand is, if you receive back the Most High and you listen to his voice, then the curse began to get lifted. And this is what they don't want, because then now they know with the Bana Kongo, the Bantu awakening, the Most High is starting to lift the curses because they're starting to hear him again. This is how we knew. This is the real awakening. The 400 years over, like Toko and Kimbangu was prophesying before there was any Hebrew Israelites, that he was trying to help people understand, you're worshiping Baal. This is why they wanted to kill him, kill him. Party, the same. Anybody that reveals this, they don't want you to know. Especially when it was not our time. And this is what they were masquerading even in America, that they were keeping a secret. Don't let these black people unite. Because every single church, synagogue, temple on American soil and around the world is really Baal temples. But they don't want to tell you that unless you're an Elimo assembly. Because this is what happened when the 7 assemblies turned away from the first love and did the lukewarmness and tolerated wickedness. You become now servants of MOLOCH. Okay. That's what happened here. And so when the child of Revelation 12 showed up, he said, hey, all of you are worshiping Shetani in the form of Nimrod or Baal. This is why your land is now controlled by what? Foreigners. Mundele, Kadiampemba, Bango, Ngoim, Shipo. This is why the British came to South Africa. This is why the French went into the Congo. This is why the Belgians went into the Congo. This is why the English went to Kenya and all the other different places. This is why the Portuguese and the Spanish and all of them, they came to you in the name of Baal, masquerading as Jesus Christus with modified versions of Bantu scrolls. Believe it or not. And they taught you another God. Like he said, you would worship gods in wood and stone. Your forefathers never did, and changed the stories of our original people. Like Kepler said, they made stuff up. So they took the scriptures. It had some truth in it, or they wouldn't be able to show it to us. But they packaged it under this is the problem. That so-called Baal is also the sun god Ra, who was also known as Osiris and Heru or Herous. So all that happened 500 years ago is you went right back into Kamata and the worship of their gods. Just like it says in verse 68. And the whole world, through the secret societies and those who were part of it and were doing the Egyptian things, they took this stuff and they taught and they interacted with those around the world who these gods were pretending to be different in different places and started to become one under the domination of Rome. So the Vatican and through Islam was the revenge of the Canaanite God against our people who chose to not listen to the voice of the real creator anymore, but to go the way of the heathens again, who they themselves didn't even know that this particular deity had changed his name to the God or Deus or Dio of the Roman Catholic Church. Jupiter became Baal, Jupiter became the God of Christianity. Okay. Let's go and see just to show you what I mean. If you look at this outfit, and this is where the helmet actually comes from, he's wearing the outfit that was given to Adama with the leopard skin, with the helmet of truth. We then had the girded loins, of course, with the sash. He had the leopard skin from when he come out of the water that the Most High put him in, that the most Christians don't even know. That was passed down through generations, through Hanok, through Matuzo, through Noka, that was stolen by Kama, given to Nimrod. Esau wore it. He died. Yakubi took it after he was disgraced by the Tata nZambi. And the kings of Zulu, of the Untoto, of Tata nZambi wore this all the way down to where you go to see a picture of King Nzinga wearing the leopard skin and the sash and the fringes, because we became the head of all the nations 1300 years in 1300 AD. But because we didn't understand we were to be one nation again and not just 12 kingdoms or 12 tribes, and we kept bickering, we got scattered again from the inheritance that now everybody wants to steal. And they taught us and whipped into us and tortured us and killed us and did everything they could to us. Because why? We chose to go once again with the deceiver over the Most High, like before, like in the book of Maccabee, Yaoundé Maccabee, like what happened when we got sent into captivity to Babylon, when Nebuchadnezzar, like what happened when the brothers sent Yosephu into Kamata, okay, like what happened in Persia, the Greeks, all it, Rome came in, and then they took the history and wrote it to where they hid this. We were never in Africa that far. Lie. They taught lies to their people. Oh no, these are not, we're the people now, okay? The Khazarian Empire, the Roman Empire morphed into this thing, went conquering people. Islam came out of that. And next thing you know, we are now worshiping the gods of the heathen. Both black, white, Asian, whatever color they were, that were bowing down to other gods but Tata nZambi and Pungu Tulendo, Kongo Yave. Okay? So Nini Nani, I am that I am. Taking the language of the Most High and hiding it, taking it out of our mouths, killing the elders that could teach it, telling our women can't speak it no more. Okay? All of this happened in this land because the God of the Christians was the revenge of Baal against the Muntu, the Bana Kongo, the Bana Betu. Okay. That's why in the Apocalypse of Kepa, where he says, for many will accept our teachings in the beginning, and they will turn from them again by the will of Tata nZambi of their error, because they have done what he wanted. And he will reveal them in his judgment, the servants of the word. Who is the word? But those who became mingled with these shall become their prisoners, since they are without perception, and the guiles good pure one they push, the worker of death. Who is the worker of death? Baal, Molok, all of these names he goes by, Shetani, Azaz, okay. And they praise the men of the propagation of falsehood, those who will come after you, and they will cleave to the name of a dead man. That's why when they brought Shaka Zulu, Cesare Borgia, he said, this God cannot speak to me. Yes. That's what Kusa Kongo Isaiah was telling you. You're going to accept this God that cannot speak. But yet they're telling you, oh, Jesus speaks, God speaks. How? By doing the sorcery in your head to make you think he does, and you don't hear nothing. Oh, he speaks to me. Did you hear the voice? It's like as if you're talking to a person in the room. This is the lie. That's why he said, my ancestors honor me. Yes, that was the original way of the original Bana Betu. But they stopped honoring us when we turned to another God. And they began to cut us off from our ancestry. And this is why when it says in Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy, this is why the enemies of the Bana Kongo stopped fleeing in different ways from us and now began to conquer the kingdoms, because we turn away from the real creator. But the heathen believe they're worshiping the same God. No. They are worshiping this. All the way down to the 1776. And this is the eighth kingdom that Revelation is talking about. Let's go. Let's get into it. But if you tell people this, no, we don't live in that kingdom. Yes, you do. This is who your Honor was talking about when he saw in the vision, and you're standing in it. That's when I tell people, you standing in Mystery Babylon. What are you talking about? No, I don't believe that. Of course not. Because who's going to believe that they worship in Baal without being done in secret? And there came one of the seven Malakis that had the seven vials and talked to me saying, come hither. I will show you on the judgment of the great horde that sitteth upon many waters, which means kingdoms, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth, and have made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Boom, right here. All of this is her that he's talking about. All the way down to this one. And then see how it says it right here? Masonic Atlantis is the USA. You're in Babylon. You're in Atlantis. That's why they worship these Atlantean gods all over the place. And you don't even know they got it all over you, in front of you, in the secret. Okay? And that's why they're using the rockets to go try to kill Tata nZambi and telling you to go into outer space. No. They hide in the fact they use CGI to make it, the firmament is 20-something miles above the earth. Bing! It hits. They try to get through. Bing! Blow up. Can't break it. But because you can't see 22 miles above, and you see they're giving you a fake sky, because the stars don't, if we're rotating, why the stars stay in the same place every night? Hello? Oh, we find the star in the same place every night. Here, here, here. Well, then how are you rotating then? If you rotate, they should move to a different spot. See, people believe because the Mozart said, oh, you don't even know. The firmament is the ozone. So he carried me away in the spirit in the wilderness and saw a woman sit on a scarlet colored beast. And they put this right in front of Wall Street, because the bull that sits in front of Wall Street is Baal. And then they worship the animal, the bear. Excuse me. Full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple. Purple is the color of death. And scarlet, red for blood sacrifice, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. From who? Tata nZambi, the one that stole. She stole all the wealth from Tata nZambi, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambi. That's why she got precious stone and gold. And having the golden cup and chalice that you always see the Catholic people raise up the golden cup and her hand full of abominations and filthiness of fornication. Yes, because the Catholic Church is filthy, but they masquerading like, he. No, they marry rotten crops like they. That's why they're getting in trouble with all of the stuff that they're doing with the scandals and all the stuff they did in their history of killing people because they are rotten. They did the opposite of what Tata nZambi has told people to do. And upon her forename was written Mystery Babylon the Great. Boom. Right there. Masonic Atlantis. Booyah, USA. You're in it. Novus Ordo Seclorum. Okay. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Kuswa, Yesaya, not know Jesus Christos, nobody, because this right here is Baal. And when he saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the Malekis said unto me, wherefore dost thou marvel? That's why you're getting ticked off. The Most High don't like you marveling nothing that's satanic. I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carry her, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. They already got the 10 kings I told you set up, that they copied again. They run them all back. Okay, so now we know about that part. Now, let's go down to verse. That's verse 11. And the beast that was not and is not, even as is the 8th and of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. This is the United States, because this is the lie. When it comes to the earth and the countries thereof, you are not going to stand in front of the creator of heaven and earth and tell him, I'm a Chinese, I'm a Japanese, I am Vietnamese, I am American. No. He doesn't see none of that. He sees the kingdoms that the scriptures are talking about. You come from Edom. You come from the Jebusite. You come from Moab. You come from these places. What? I don't know what that is exactly. You're not one of, he said, because the reality is, this is the lie. You either are Bana nZambi, Bana Kongo, or you're not. This is what they're hiding from the moon to, the 12 tribes, the 12 kingdoms. That's why they say 12 gates to the city. Hallelujah. Okay? You have to come through a moon to get into the kingdom. That's why Ephraim has to come through the rest of us, because he don't have a gate. Okay? And there's no gate for the Gentiles to come into the city. Hey, where is it at? The Gentile must come through the moon to get into the city. Of David. People don't understand. This is what the world doesn't get. The reason why you think the law has been fulfilled and this and that is because Baal is there to deceive the moon to. He don't care that he deceives the other nation, because they worshiping him anyway. He wants to make sure that the energy that comes from the 12 tribes powers up his kingdoms. So this is why when Tata nZambi said, for the end of the age is Esau and Yakubi is the beginning, because Esau is now Baal mixed in there. This is what destroys his kingdom that sits up there with Shaitani, the prince of the air, and brings the dragon down, is the return of the moon to Tata nZambi, Bana Kongo, Yave, Sonini Nanini Modimo, in spirit and in truth. And that's why they're afraid of Black unity, as they call it. But really what they're afraid of is Bana Betu, Bana Kongo unity. The NIGER, like I did in a video on Facebook, that became the NIGGER mockery. Because not all the African nations will rise above the Bana Betu, even though they're coming back. He says, when you listen to his voice, we stay above. So that is why the frequency, as I talked about before, needed to be turned away from Tata nZambi and back to Baal, which is the 666, from the 999. And they copied the opposites and masquerade. Okay. And that's why he says, thinking that they will become pure, but they will become greatly defiled, and they will fall into a name of error and into the hand of an evil, cunning man and a manifold dogma, that they will be ruled without law. For some of them will blaspheme the truth and proclaim evil teaching, and they will say evil against each other. Some will be named those who stand in the strength of the archons of a man and a naked woman, who is manifold and subject to much suffering. And those who say these things will ask about dreams, and if they say that a dream came from a demon worthy of their error, then they should be given perdition instead of incorruption. And that is what this means when he says that this kingdom will goeth into perdition, because it's connected to Rome, because they're the ones who did this. The bishop of the bishop of the Church of Laodicea was a Ubuntu who believed the lies of Simon the sorcerer. And this is happening again. Okay, hallelujah. And they instead of, so that's what he's saying. That's why when we accepted another Jesus that they did not teach, and another God that they did not prophesy about, and another spirit, we got destroyed by the colonizer. And everything got turned upside down, and they destroyed everything about us, and they erased the history, and they made it theirs, and then they turned everything backwards so that the world wouldn't know that they have been lied to. And then they used the systems that they created based upon what we had already done, and are now using it against us and their own, having them chasing something that in order to get it, you have to do what? Sell your soul, practically. doing sorcery, witchcraft, all kind of stuff that you don't even know, hiding it under the form of alchemy, science, the wrong kind of alchemy, all these different things. Becoming professional what? You're Egyptians to the Most High across the whole world. Because right now, all he sees is bondage, mentally and physically, of the Muntu. The Bana nZambis, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZolele, the Bana Israela, the sons of Zulu, you are still in bondage. And the reason who he keeps yelling at to let his people go like the last time is that same stupid, ridiculous deception demon that he has to keep fighting because we don't pay attention. This one again, yet again, let Tata nZambi's people go. And this is why the world is suffering so much destruction that they're masquerading as climate change. And they control the media, they control it, they have all the misinformation going on. They gave you all kind of distractions. They gave you all kind of pastors that are preaching good news that you want to hear and not showing you the real truth. They keep giving you spiritual milk instead of spiritual meat. And then they even having you embrace, which I tell you, I'm not going to say anything about any one particular person, anybody, but a cross that is not ours, but the one that they put up in Angola, the big white one, is ours. Okay. And that's why he's saying, for evil, this is why they don't want you to read this scripture. And they came and said, oh, yeah, oh. Because he's talking about the 12 kingdoms of nZolele that they came and made mockeries of and telling false stories, the Lemba, Yaoundé up in Cameroon, and Zaire, which is in the Bible, in the Congo, and Angola, which means dispersed ones, Tanzania, uh, Namibia. That's why they changed all these names. Soweto, what Soweto really means. For evil cannot produce good fruit. For the place from which each of them is produces that which is like itself. For not every soul is of truth, nor of immortality. That is why the Most High, Tata nZambi, told us, test every spirit. Because Yesaya Kus was saying, not every soul is of truth, nor of immortality. For every soul of these ages has death assigned to it in our view. Because it is always a slave, since it is created for its desires and their internal destruction, in which they are from, which they are. They love the creatures of the matter which come forth with them. That's why they worship false gods. That's why he's telling you, okay, those of us who don't want to come away from the ways of the heathen, you're going to die with them. Because they're going to come to destruction. They're going to come to purge. Because their masters, their leaders, their people have lied to them. But the immortal souls are not like these, O Kepa. But indeed, as long as the hour is not yet come, it, the immortal soul, shall resemble a mortal one. but it shall not reveal its nature that it alone is the immortal one and thinks about immortality, having faith, desiring to the realms these things. That's why this is the concept of the wheat and the tares. For people do not gather figs from thorns or from thorn trees if they are wise, nor grapes from thistles. For on the one hand, that which is always becoming is in that from which it is, being from what is not good, which becomes destruction for it and death. But that which comes to be in the eternal one is the one of life and the immortality of life, which they resemble. That is why the people that the Tata nZambi has chosen are against the system now that continues to keep the people in fruitless deeds that produce no fruit for the kingdom whatsoever, that do not give anything back to the Most High at all, that only do what they think and they want according to their own desires. Because these spirits are dead. Because if they had the resemblance of the Creator, you wouldn't see the world that you see now. It would be totally different. That's the problem. Because if you're worshiping this deity, you cannot produce good fruit ever. No matter what you think you're doing, righteous, good, whatever, in your own mind, you cannot, because the Most High won't receive it. I'm not going to take dirty fruit from. He's not going to take fruit from a dirty tree, from wickedness. Not going to happen. Okay. And this is why Tata nZambi is saying, if you want to receive eternal life, if you want to be in the true understanding, you must realize you must become back to your immortal soul that you have and reject the mortal one. That's what it means to say, feed the spirit, not the flesh. This is for all of us, myself included. Okay? And now they are creating systems and technologies and everything of all kinds to cut people off forever who continue to believe their way of thinking. See, it's even called on this side, Deep State Mapping Project. Now, people want to tell me that I'm wrong. Look at what it says right here. HOROUS, DIONYSUS, BACCHUS, JESUS. And they replaced our mother, MOONSIN, Nana, NANNA, KONSUEVE, with, because this is what she was, LILITH. So this is referring to the wicked seed of what happened with Cain. And of course, look at all the names you have for Lilith. She did exist. Look at this one right here. ISIS and HORUS is MARY and JESUS. See, they even took this, they stole them. This is how they stole the Most High, Yave Kongo. ENKI and ANLIL is YHWH and BAAL. That's why Tata nZambi said it's about the spirit. Because the true Yahweh is not ENKI, but Sonini Nanini, Tata nZambi and Pungutulendo, Yave Kongo. Because there's no truth, Yah Kongo, in none of these deities here. See, look at this. Sun, SUNLELRAATONADAM, because the false Messiah took the place of Adama Yakongo, is what he keeps telling them, and they are rejecting the fact that Isaiah Kuswa Kongo is part of this. When it was Isaiah Kuswa Kongo, Yesu Christu, who is supposed to be this. And that is why the kingdom of Congo in Totila fell. This is why the Bana Betu and the Muntu became scattered, like he says in Leviticus. You profane the Most High when you put your children over to that deity. And they tricked us to doing it now every single day in the worship. See, because look, this is even, it says a symbol on the Mormon temple. Hello. Hello. Okay. Deuteronomy 4. That the nZambi will scatter you among the peoples, and you'll be left few in number among the nations where Tata nZambi drives you. That's why, where we're scattered, they are over us. Okay. But yet the Muntu and the Bana Betu worldwide outnumber them when we're together. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about this to get you to understand. This is why it's so hard, because when you go to what Kepler says, but also for this reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge. Whose knowledge? To knowledge self-control. To self-control perseverance, to perseverance godliness. That's why the world is out of control, has no self-control. The knowledge that they think is tainted, or they believe they have knowledge, because you cannot do these things that he's talking about as long as you are under this God. So this is why the world is now changing to be out of control, because they didn't realize they were always out of control. You cannot have true godliness unless you return to the true creator. You can resemble it, because people can be nice no matter where. Even Yesaya said, don't the heathens take care of themselves? But that doesn't mean they come into the Most High, because he's the only door. So they gave them, so the deception is they flip-flop the doors. Once again, they gave you the shepherd god known as Tammuz and replaced him with Kuso Kongo Yesaya when they came through with Diego Cal to the kingdom of Congo. Same thing they did, okay, when they put, what do you name? It was a Jupiter in the temple. back in 70 AD on the Caligula thing. Okay. All they did was change the name from Jupiter to Jesus. Like I showed you on this thing right here. See, they took their spirits and replaced them, our spirits, with theirs and cut us off from our true ancestry. So that's why when you talk to people in Africa that say, oh, yeah, we've been accepted by these different tribes. Oh, right, go right ahead and let them say that, because the reality is, even among the nation in Africa, they are still not connected to the true creator. They are still worshiping these gods unawares. They are still talking to Lilith in Africa. They are still talking to RA. They are still talking to HORUS. And they don't know it. So you can't tell them that unless they can see it. Okay. This is what happens when you become destroyed for lack of knowledge. This is what happens when he says, the ox knows his master, the donkey knows his crib, but my people. This is when he says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, then I will heal their land. And the land that he's talking about healing is Africa, because that was the land of Canaan, where they started to get ticked off because he kicked them out. And each version of these were in Africa, Babylon and Egypt. The then Rome and them came in there, and all the cause everybody came in there, and he had to boot them out. And then you had the people who are still around in our areas, but they were once afraid of us. Now they're not afraid of us no more. Why? We'd stopped listening to the voice of the Most High. We started listening to Sol Invictus instead of Tata nZambi. We started listening to this deity instead of Kuso Kongo. So then the Most High said, like anybody, if I'm no longer your father, you are of your father the devil, go. Be out of my sight. See ya. Because you gave everything I gave to you over to your lovers. And you got taught the Bible backwards. Because that's what they wanted to do. To keep us from him. And now he's flipping it back. And the whole purpose of now is to stop it from coming, which they will not do, and use every resources necessary to infiltrate every organization that's bringing us back home, and to do what is ever necessary to interrupt the process. But soon they won't be able to, because he, the one that controls this spirit, will be in chains. Okay? As the man of sin is being revealed. This is one of the reasons why I said there was 2 Simantokos and 2 Kimbangos and 2 parties and there's all different, and there's also other different prophets that were, there are 2 different versions of these things. Just like there's another Jesus for Christianity, there's I don't, they have you deceived with Allah, and of course with the so-called people, they're way off. This is their God. This is the people that the Christians are praying for. That's why they have pity, because they're worshiping the same God anyway. Oh, let's pray for Israel. Yeah, because Baal is, you're worshiping Baal anyway. We don't even know. They can't see that they're praying for the same God that they worship and his people, while they're having hatred for the Muslims and they're worshiping the same God. This is the deception. And then if they tell you, oh, this is a false prophet, this is a man telling you this is lies, it's because they don't want you to know. Because when you do, their reign ends. Done. Show over. The Most High comes. He's coming anyway. Okay. Kemukemna to the nZambi Amazulu. Kifumukyakuisa. May Tata nZambi continue to guide and keep you in this time, to grow stronger in understanding and returning to the way of the Most High, from what was taken from us, from those who worship this God. Because now, as they said, the rabbit with the watch, midnight is here. Ingeta. Mbote.